Okay. This interview is part of the oral history collection for the UAH Space Archives. I'm Charles Lundquist. Today, February 2nd, 2006, we have Professor S.T. Wu from the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department here at UAH. Welcome, S.T., and thank you for coming.
Well, thank you to invite me.
To start, would you give us a little personal history, where you spent your childhood, went to school, and how and when you came to UAH?
Okay, let's start it. I was born in China, mainland China, a city called Nanchang. It's in the central part of China. So then, in 1949, when I was a junior high school student, at that time, there's a revolution in China. From national Chinese become communist Chinese. My parents, I followed my parents and moved to Taiwan in the year 1949. Then I finished high school and the college over there. And after I finished my college, 1957, I came to this country as a grad student. The first school I attended is at Illinois Institute of Technology. At that time, I was majoring in mechanical engineering. You remember, 1957, complete change the landscape of the space research. Before that, probably don't have space research. The Sputnik was launched by Russia. Follow that, the suddenly United States catch up. So, as a grad student, you follow the trend. Give you another perspective. Originally, I tried to develop a car manufacturing because everybody loved the cars, even in China, the Chinese, and to design a cheap and everybody can afford a car like Volkswagen. That's my senior year project. We designed a group undergrad student, designed a 2-stroke engine, an 18 horsepower car can make very cheaply. And I tried to I had the ambitions to become Ford in China.
Very nice.
However, I didn't do it. I come here, I catch up the space fever. At that time, we don't call space. Also, simultaneously, and the United States just declassified the plasma fusion research in the 57 as a peaceful use in Princeton University, Princeton Plasma Physics Lab. I become fascinated about this another physics problem of the plasma physics, plasma dynamics, which filled all the universe. So after I finished my master's degree in 59, I applied 2 schools to further my study. One in Princeton, one at Harvard. Then I went to Harvard. But I'm a big failure at Harvard. I was thrown out by Harvard University. I didn't get along with my professors anyway. So I don't have smooth road. I have bumpy road. So at that time I really learned. I took a lot of courses. And the first class I took is the electromagnetic theory by Van Vleck. He's a very famous Nobel Prize winner. At that time, we have 20 people in his class. First, he told us, he said, I came to teach here in 1933. At that time, I only have 2 students, which one already got a Nobel Prize. He said, now we got almost 20 students. What I'm going to expect? Well, I don't know. So anyway, from there, as I said, I didn't finish my PhD degree at Harvard, but I have devotion to become a faculty member. As you know, if you want to become faculty, you need a PhD. That's a license, a certificate to get the faculty member. So I went to Colorado, and that's very smooth. I think because they consider, even though I'm flunked from Harvard, because that's a good school, they accept all my coursework without trouble. It took me about 2.5 years to complete my PhD. Okay, so after I applied a couple jobs. I got 3 offers, One 1966 is UH. At that time, UH is not a university. It's a really research institute started by Dr. Werner von Braun. And I have an appointment with the Catholic University at the Washington D.C. And then also I have a visiting position at Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And that after talk to people, even though I don't know much about the South, so they says you probably should go to there because Marshall Space Prize Center. You were going to have a greater opportunity. Then I got offer 66. I finally came here 67 to take it. I doing my postdoc research still at the NCA, National Center for Atmospheric Research, and also called High Altitude Observatory. So I came in 67. So at that time, I think the University of Alabama-Huntsville has a big grant. I was attached at the grant from the NASA headquarters, and I think it's arranged by Dr. von Braun, and together Dr. Herman. Okay, so as a young faculty member, I realized, this kind of free lunch will not last forever. I began to develop myself, and fortunately, which is very lucky, the first I went to talk with Marshall guys. The first people I talked with, I said Johnson, Dr. Johnson. He passed away. I forgot his first name. You remember? Bill Johnson. And he brought me to see Tom Pannell. At that time, Dr. Tom Pannell also is a young man, just graduated got his degree from North Carolina State. I think it's North Carolina State or Chapel Hill. I forgot it. Every talk I try to sell my very exotic theoretic model, solar wind, based on the kinetic theory to do a detail. And come to the conclusion, you say, that's too fundamental, too academic. So nothing, you cannot use it. Okay, however, I was not discouraged. Well, I just do my work. And one day, I received a phone call from Space Science Lab. I think it's at that time, I forgot, either Billy Jones or Billy Jones and who's that? I still saw. I asked you that. Anyway, the division chief is we talk about.
Oh, Decker.
No, not Decker. Not Decker.
Which division?
At that time the solar treasure. Don't call the solar treasure division.
Nauman?
Not Nauman. Prior to Nauman, he retired.
Bill Snoddy?
Oh, Snoddy. Real Snoddy. Okay. So together with Dr. Mona Hagen, at that time it's about Skylab era, and Marshall built up the solar vector magnetograph and tried to help to predict the solar eruptions. And they built this facility. It's become very, very successful facility. Also, there's a story, and actually, at that time, it's collaborated with the Navy Research Lab. Navy Research Lab. But however, finally, the NRA tried to give up, and Marshall picked up the solar vector magnetograph. They need somebody to develop some theoretical calculations to interpret the data. And I went to talk to them. So finally we got for my first grant, first contract, which is I still remember, only $35,000. I have one grad student. Okay, beginning. Now that grad student, I'm very proud of it, is a full professor at Tennessee Tech, Dr. Hahn. And another note here, the model he developed now is used by the NOAA people for the predicting the solar disturbance probably to the Earth. Okay, so sort of is useful. Theoretic study become very useful things, and they call the Hans model. Okay, the students model, and we're proud of that. So after that, that group became to grow. Okay, started with that, and then also with Chuck's leadership, I become involved with SO 56, which is X-ray telescope on board ATM Skylab, a atmosphere telescope mount. And there's a story, how I get involved in that. It's very, very dramatic. One day I walk into the lab, space science lab, and I think there's another scientist over there called Jeff Smith. He's a NOAA guy, reside at the Marshall to do the flare prediction. And then somehow, detailed arrangement, and now it's 30-some years ago, I could not remember all details. I think he's not. So want me to work on the SO 56. So first thing we do, since the experiments already flown for a number of times, I said, we got to let people know what we're doing. So we're sitting on a hole, sitting on the desk. I said, let's write an abstract to get out, to present at AGU. Okay? So together with group scientists, we wrote the things based on the data. We send out, accept it, beginning our solar research. For me, I think that they already done something about it. Okay, so that's how we started, and then we become very successful. We publish a lot of things in the journals. Okay, I say if you want people to know, if you want scientific community to recognize you, you talk, you write, you get out your story in the formal archive journals, which we've been very successful to do that. Okay, so well, we're really proud of it. After that, there's another story about Huntsville space science community. One summer, at that time, every summer, I went to Boulder, Colorado. To do research in summertime. One summer, I still remember you called me after Boulder. He said, we need somebody, solar physics, how about Tamba Hansen? I said, sure, he was my senior, my mentor, so I can talk to him. At that time, he is the PI for one of the experiments at Solar Max mission. And that's almost as follow the ATM solar research, solar physics research. And I talked with him. He said, yes, sure, there's an opportunity. So simultaneously, I said, Goddard Space Flight Center also approached him. Right?
Oh, really?
Right. Now there's tug of war between the Marshall and the Goddard. Okay?
Ah, yes.
Finally, Dr. Tambanza moved here. So really become very well established solar research at Huntsville. He is a very famous international known solar scientist in the community. Okay, so we plug it along. Then we have Solar Max mission. So since then, and another story is in the 70s. The sentence in the Skylab era. If I remember correctly. Also, I realized that you're doing research, you depend on one agency, it's not enough. So I began to write proposals. Okay, and the first year, I think that 1978, I made a little bit of news for the university. We got first grant from National Science Foundation, we're healthy grant for 3 years. We're in the solar research. So I think they made the news for the Huntsville Times because that's the first, I think the first UH NSF grant. Okay, so from there on, I've been very fortunately, my project has been supported by National Science Foundation and NASA headquarters. All these times during my tenure at here, and they still support me even though I retired last year. I hope I will continue so. On and off, I was supported by the Air Force research lab. The nice things about it, there's another story I'm proud to tell you that, is this. And 1 year, at that time, we didn't talk about so-called space weather. We just talked the solar eruption effect. Solar eruption affect the Earth's environment. And the Air Force has a call for proposal and to study such kind of problem, sort of a comprehensive study from the sun, propagate to the interplanetary, to the Earth environment. I, together with Marshall colleagues, and we wrote a proposal. And our proposal is now being development instrument to use available observations to do a numeric model, like right now, it's a very hot subject, people are doing that. And we didn't win. However, we win the compliment prize. Nice things about the things is at that time, the final selections, the 3 PIs, one from Johns Hopkins, is Dr. Rust, another is Dick Canfield from Hawaii, and S.T. Wu, myself, together with Marshall people from Huntsville. Let me tell the story. 3 of the PIs all graduated from University of Colorado. Both of them are proposed to make instrument. Our proposal is to use the observations together with theory, and certainly we have to use Marshall's magnetograph as a piece of the input, and to do the prediction and to see the effect on the Earth. And as said, those 2 are competing each other, but 3 proposals, so many proposals, the final selection comes to 3. I got a compliment prize from the Air Force. He says, yes, we couldn't afford that much, but since the community says your proposal is good, we'd like to start to do some theoretic study. So they give us a 3 years grant. So we nourish a lot of students. So that's how generally grow. Oh, then in the 80s, as you know, and University UH has beginning to establish those centers. We have been a group, a thrust. That's during the era of President Wright, together with Vice President Anderson, and Chuck is our research institute director. You remember, we have the Solar Treasure Thrust, right? Which is always, we are not too big, but we are solid. Let's put it this way, right?
Yeah, very solid.
We produce a lot of students. I don't know how many we haven't produced PhDs. For myself, I graduate about 24 PhDs. Now it's spread around the country. So it really it's an enjoyable thing to say. And then one day, and Dr. Wright and Dr. Anderson, at that time, and Dr. Wright called me. He says that at that time the optical center is already established. He said, ST, you should think of to organize your thrust to become a center. At that time, the Vice President Research, Donald Rumor, and he says, Dr. Donald Rumor will call you. Okay, you see how we're going to do it. So that's the reason how the Center for Space Plasma and Around Research was born. At that time, also, we have a NSF EPSCO grant, and which we propose to form a base of funding to develop a facility at the CSPA, Center for Space Plasma and Around Research. And I organize this center is different with other people. Even though I'm the director, I don't call I'm a director, I'm the coordinator, together with my colleagues. At that time, I send out a letter to all the people working on this side. I say, President Wright has asked us to organize ourselves. We are going to have a center. If you like to join, let's talk about it. So, and myself doing the solar research, and I have Dr. Comfort and Dr. Jim Horwitz, and Dr. Gordon Emsley, and a couple of other people, and also Dr. Bill Purchasers at that time. He joined later in the astrophysics part. Okay. So to form the center, and Dr. Amstey has never formally joined. He didn't like center concept. Okay, that's fine. We still work together. Okay, so that's means we formed the center. Our purpose is not build an empire; is try to further our graduate program. So the highest year we have grad students at the center is about 30 or 40 grad students. As I said, that we produce quite a production of the grad students around during these years. I'm sorry I didn't bring the number to you. And so that's how the center formed. And in the later stage, because we have center here, and we move another step. We have another step, which is in the 90s. Because of collaboration with Marshall Space Flight Center, so we have a lot of interaction, both financially and researchally. And you try to transfer funding more efficiently, instead, so we go another route. Together with Marshall and University, we have the second cooperative agreement between this group together with Marshall's group. And that's how the lead, before our co-agreement, there's another Earth Science agreement. You remember, because that started headquarters. So there's two basic cooperative agreements happen at the university. And these two later on formed NSSTC. That's how I consider the still, and certainly now NSSTC is all kinds of things, but the major function of NSSTC still is three big groups. The Earth Science is the largest. I think the space science is the second. Money-wise, I think probably the IT is later on to catch up. And the other things, they have optics, they have materials, they have propulsion, but that still needs some work to be done. So I think that's about it.
Well, ST, you've given a very modest description of your activities. However, I should point out that you, within the last year, received a very prestigious award from the AIAA, American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, for all the work that you've just described. Can you tell us about that award?
Well, that's a really surprise. Since I'm in the later stage of, I consider my career is a plateau now. I retired, okay. But in the November, I came back from China. I received a notice that I've been selected first James Van Allen Award, and which is aiming for the purpose of that award is for a person, individuals, he has contribution to understand the planetary and Earth environment and their effect by the sun's eruption. They claim I have done something about it, so they decided to give me this first award. I'd be proud. And also, I told audience, I said, well, yes, I received that award, but all the credit should go to the Huntsville community. Without Marshall, or without my grad student, I will not get to that far, period. Let's put it this way. In particular, I'm really grateful for Chuck's leadership. Okay, so he brought me in. I like to say, and then I found out a little bit more about the Van Allen. Van Allen is the first one. 1961, he gave the first Drayton lecture. I believe at that lecture probably talk about space environment. And the reason why, I think in 1958, the launch first,
Explorer 1.
Explorer 1. He discovered, which Chuck calculated the orbit. He discovered this Van Allen belt. That's how the space environment started. So it's quite everything started from Huntsville. That's why at that time I took the advice, come to the South. Be honest, the South already has kind of image. It's not outside people don't understand. So I'm so fortunate I came here. I have this opportunity. I can a lot of people to work with, and now brought me to this this stage. It's just fun.
Where and when was this award given?
Oh, it was given at the annual meeting, aerospace science meeting, in January 10th at Reno, Nevada. So
just about a month ago.
About a month ago, yes. It's a fun. It's a celebration. About 3,000 people there.
It's a real honor for UAH too that you got the award. We're all very proud of you.
Well, thank you. And also, may I say that I'm so grateful to receive a letter from the David King, current director for Marshall. He wrote me a nice letter, and he said I represent the Huntsville space science community very well. I told him, it's not my honor, it's Huntsville's honor. We're looking forward to work together again, continue to advocate the Huntsville space science community and to get more things done.
Another thing that happened, of course, is that many scientists from Marshall, when they retired, joined your center. Can you tell us about some of them?
Oh, yes. It's hard for me to say, the GPV. Its experiments last, it's a gravitational probe, lasts about 30, 40 years. The time ready to launch to do the science, our PI, which is a retired Marshall scientist, Dr. Decker. I still remember vividly. We have a gathering at the NSSTC, ready for lunch. Then 2 days later, he passed away. And it's a big loss to us. Otherwise, we have great opportunity to do some data analysis about that. And because without him, we lost all the capability. So the sort of suddenly curtain just turned on for that.
That was gravity probe B that was being launched.
Yeah, being launched.
But
and also I have Tom Pannell with us. He's doing and he's quite busy to do the gamma high energy astrophysics. And then we have certainly Campbell Hansen still sitting with us as a senior statesman to advise us what to do. And a number of other short-time appointments. I could not list them all. Quite a lot. So that's indication in saying that our collaboration, whether we have formal NSTC or not, we are doing that. Period. So you have a formal structure. It's nice, but without it, you still can do a lot of things as long as you have a common interest for a particular subject.
While we're talking about solar weather and the predictions, I was reminded when we talked about GPB that the launch date of GPA in 1976 was based on a prediction of when there would be where the solar holes were and where the solar wind streams would hit the Earth, and pick the time when the Earth would not be in a solar wind stream. So that was one of the first examples of using a knowledge of the solar terrestrial environment for a practical purpose.
Yes, and also this particular subject now, just past 10 years, received great attention in the community, in the world. Now they call it space weather. And what they do, the reason why is because now the documentation shows they have tremendous economic impact. For example, when in 1989, a solar storm, has knocked off the power in the northeast part of the United States. And the reason why, because northeast part of the United States electric power comes from Quebec, and electric plant. So because they're in high latitude, and when the storm comes, they knock off the grids without power. So you know that's the consequences. Not only inconvenience, also and the productivity suffers, and so on and so on. And another thing is communication. You know, these days usually did not feel about the importance. Nowadays, common people feel about the importance. And I still remember during the Motorola tried to push up a radio project. They tried to launch globally about a couple thousand satellites to make a network around the world. Right now, certainly they have, but not controlled by one company, but by many companies. And then Motorola has ambition. And then they called us. They said, "Can you predict the solar eruption or not?" I said, "No, we cannot do that. Nobody can do that." Yet, it's still, I don't think. But then we say, but you, then ask him a question. I said, even though we can predict they're going to come, they can knock you off anyway. So what you're going to do is nothing you can do about it. He said, no, it's the business is responsible to the customers. Then he asked me the following question. He said, if you can predict, you know how severe it's going to hit. I said, that's possible. He said, if I know the direction and severeness of the hit, I can shift those customers from this particular satellite to another one didn't get hit. I still can maintain the communication to my customer without interruption. Now I understand. The different. Another thing, since I'm doing this production, one trip I was in Taiwan, I met a business colleague. He said, really, can you predict? You know, how accurately can you predict? As a current prediction probably is very low. He said, if you can show, you can improve the accuracy in certain percentage. Okay, then it's very useful. The reason why right now all the satellites are insured. If you can improve the accuracy of prediction, you lower the risk certain percentage, then the premium of the insurance are lower accordingly.
Well, that's an interesting economic impact.
Then you say you can take a cut. He tried to get me into business. I said, well, and I have also has a little bit the business sense. I say, how much liability I have? So you say, so surely you have a liability. I say, are you going to reinsure me? My liability. So our story stop here. I think still it's a scientific problem. We have not get to the, certainly, right now we pay very much attention on that. The accuracy still is a problem. The false alarm still is a problem. So, but it's worthwhile to work on. So that reason why, it's a piece of science can connect to the business.
St., I know you've maintained contacts with China, and China is now becoming a very active country in space missions. Do you have any comments on this?
Yes, I sort of participate. And I went to China when they first opened the door, 1979. Since then, I go them average at least once a year. And with their space, space research. And I have a lot of students and colleagues working in that. The first 1970 I went there, there's nothing. There's really nothing. Even though they begin the space program, it's very primitive, very, and they don't know outside too much about it. Okay, then I think the first bunch of these Chinese scientists visited UH is 1980. I got 4 to come. Now they're all famous now. One is the current president of the Chinese Geophysics Union president, and also academicians, and he still come to visit us. You see how they develop. And this last year I went there, they approve a couple very ambitious programs. One is ground-based, another one is a space one. Let me talk about ground-based. They try to build, they call the meridian chain, to build a chain of from North Pole to South Pole of the observation stations, such as magnetometer, so geomagnetic field measurement, to the ionosphere disturbance measurement, the radar, at 120 degrees of the meridian plane. And this is the reason why they build this one. Is complement to the western part, the chain. Then the whole world has that ground-based chain, and they planning to spend about almost $20 million for next 10 years to complete this chain already. That's a ground-based program. And another one, they try to another called space weather monitor. I'm sorry I didn't bring my view. I have pictures about that mission, which is very nice. Maybe I can email to you, you can put in. And it's one satellite, just like our SOHO mission, at the libration point of sunlight to watch the sun. The inside the magnetosphere, inside Earth's bow shock, they have two more satellites to monitor the Earth's effect. That's the reason we call it space weather monitor mission. And as you know, our SOHO mission probably will decommission in the 2010. So, and maybe Chinese can fill that void in the scientific community. Actually, all the instruments, they are collaborate with the European country, ESA people. Somehow they try to get the NASA to be cooperated because some reason have not accomplished yet. But it's good news. I read from newspaper, I think our government has instructed the embassy, U.S. embassy in Beijing, try to contact Chinese government, see what things they can collaborate.
Oh, very good.
There's from scientific wise. I don't know if they will come to science or not, but recent China main flight has been, has launched a main mission now.
Yes.
Two missions already.
And they've announced that they intend to send men to the moon as fast as they can.
Yes, but that seems not, that's a little bit, when I was in Beijing, they told me that still it's further down. But they do have a moon reconnaissance mission. Their moon program is this, I think this year, they will send a satellite, or this year or next year, or 7, I forgot it, they told me that, and to orbit the moon, and to take the picture of the moon. The next 2 or 3 years, they will send, there's another mission around the moon, then we'll send a probe down to the moon, and send, and for a period of time, they get back. The third mission, which is they not only send some instrument, they scoop some material from the moon to bring back. That is current program. The landing man on the moon program still further down. That's what they told me.
Further down in the United States too. Do you think they will beat the United States back to the moon, or do you think the U.S.
I don't know. That's because landing somebody on the moon still is rather different, and also still spend the money. I think they are debating it's worthwhile to use robotic or use people.
Of course, China has a more robust budget opportunity than the U.S. does right now.
Sure, right now. But the reason is this: we are so expensive because our living standards are so high. When they do the SOHO mission, type SOHO mission, I told you space weather monitoring, their budget probably our SOHO spend about $1 billion. They spend about 1/5 of that. So there's a factor 5 there. So I really looking forward to collaboration.
What do you think the prospects are of a collaboration for a trip to Mars eventually?
Sure, up to the United States, they love to open, arm, because still we have our technology here, much, we have advanced technology here. So they're up to the United States. The United States want to collaborate, and yes, I think they will open arm for it. And by the way, they have a couple of times the Chinese scientists visit Marshall at the university to try to collaborate a solar mission, a solar optical observatory in space.
What can we at UAH do to help promote collaboration?
I think there's opportunity here if we can pursue Congress and change the NASA's opinion. Okay, and I think probably it's not NASA. NASA will into somewhere in some place. Okay, and to really have to make the decision, the correct thing. I understand we have to protect somehow technology, but I think if working carefully, there's still room to be to do the corporate research. That's what I strongly believe. Certainly, we don't want to give up everything, but something. Even though right now, I think the United States. I'm naturalized citizen. I call them reborn Southern. I was not naturalized at the Birmingham court. Typical Alabama, right? So
that makes you a redneck, almost.
That's right. So certainly we have to protect some our advantages, but they expect you to do so. They expect you to do so. But there's an area, there's room, and to take the advantage on both sides, and to advance the science, the global. I call it global science. And these days, I don't think, even though we are the richest country in the world, the strongest countries in the world, but you still need working together to make, we got so many problems to be solved, not on the scientific, on the human part and society part. So money is not, resources are always not enough, and we have to find a way to utilize our resources more efficiently. I'm really looking forward. Sooner or later, we'll do it.
Is there anything more you would like to add that I haven't thought of asking you?
Well, I think you asked very good questions. You have good interviews. I never thought I can talk that much. Okay, so I think that's about properly. So I'm so glad to see the university grow from 2 buildings, which is a research institute. 3 buildings, Madison Hall when I came here, Morton Hall, now to a full comprehensive university. I think the university could not do it alone. It's community, particularly Marshall guys, really help so to do all these kind of things. I thank you.
Well, ST, thank you. You've been a major factor in helping the university grow to its current status, and we thank you for that and for everything you've done for us.
Well, I thank you, Chuck. so I'm really glad to working with you. I still want to work with you.
Thank you.
Okay.